I wanted to do a video updating the 7th Panzer deck, and I've played a bunch of games, and I wanted to release them in order or as one video, although it's several hours of footage. However, the last game I played was against P.Uri.Tanner, and it was a really good game, and I think it stands on its own. So I'm going to launch into a quote, obviously, and then some deck reviews, and this is just going to be live gameplay of me playing and talking. It's not a casted game, but it still has the deck reviews and me playing and talking. They can endure hunger and cold and any kind of hardship, for they plunge into the swamps and exist there for many days with only their heads above water, and in the forests they support themselves upon bark and roots, and for all emergencies they prepare a certain kind of food, the eating of a small portion of which, the size of a bean, prevents them from feeling either hunger or thirst. Such is the general character of the island of Britain, and such are the inhabitants. Cassius Dio, 209 AD. Right, so this is a cast and a deck review for blah 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 blah, etc. etc. 7th, revisiting 7th following the patch. So what's changed since Udino and the post Udino hotfix? A lot of prices have changed. So for example, your T72 base is 10 points more expensive, your AM2B is 10 points more expensive, your AM2 is 5 or 10 points more expensive. However, the CV tanks have become a lot cheaper. And you also get igloos now as 7th, which you didn't used to get. Suppression matters more now in this game, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos. What else to mention? A CV doesn't have to be in a zone to keep it capped, it can just drive through it and it will stay capped, and the enemy has to put a CV in there to cap it. As a consequence, you get less CVs per card, so I'm only bringing 6 CVs, whereas I used to bring about 10. Tab by tab. So it's very similar to the previous video, which I'll link in the description if I remember. But yeah, we open with 2 cards of supply and 1 CV. In regards to the supply, you've got the cheap and cheerful armoured supply and the speedy boy. The speedy one, you get 6,000 supply per card and 2,000 supply in a vehicle, whereas this is 500 per card, 5,000 supply per card, 500 per vehicle. So you'll find that 4 of these is 80 points to get 2,000 supply, whereas 1 of these is 65. So this is also more efficient on a cost basis, but it's a larger investment. It's not armoured, 1 howitzer round. Left, right, good night. Infantry tab, so it's all about the suppression now, and the veterancy as a consequence of that. And all the DDR guys get this resolute tag, which means that they're highly motivated soldiers of East Germany. If anybody knows much about the conflict in this region, or, well, the cold conflict in this region, please let me know. Were the DDR motivated? I've been to Berlin, I've seen the wall, they didn't seem too motivated, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Panzerjäger, you use these guys to kill tanks. They have 2 rocket launchers that they fire both at once with 20 pen, 500 range, lots of damage. And they're quite cheap for an anti-tank squad compared to some of the other ones, simply because the range is so low on this RPG-7VR, which is this massive tandem warhead you can see here, so it doesn't go very far. 500 meters is a bit of a stretch, actually. And I bring these in the SPW-70 because I like them to go fast. Oh, something else to note. Oh, I'm just going to quickly change this. So we spoke last time about the faggot and the Maluka and how the faggot is better at all accuracy ranges. However, I'm not paying 5 points more for it. So let's just fix that right now. Anyway, Flam. The Flam, they're good if they're stationary, they're shock, they're resolute, get 6 in a card. Yeah, they're good for the flamethrower if they can remain stationary for 4 seconds. If you're up against like RPOs and flashes, which I was in the game that I'll put first, then yeah, you might want to consider bringing the normal pioneers. However, they do have to be stopped now to throw their satchel, so you run into the same issue. It is what it is, really. Mott Schutzen, I bring 3 cards of Mott Schutzen at max vet, so 7th and 4th get this great veterancy advantage over other divisions where they start at double vet for for free, quote unquote. So you get 9 availability at Vet 2, 6 at Vet 3, which is fantastic. I bring them in the 30-point transport. The Malyutka is okay. It's not as good as the Faggot, but I'm not paying 5 points more for the Faggot, because the damn thing is going to die anyway, so what's the point? Anyway, it can tank 3 shots, 1 to the armor, 1 to the smoke, and 1 will kill it, so I think it's a very useful vehicle, despite the massive... So the aim time used to be 6.6 seconds on this, which was just absurd. That is no longer the case. Now the reload time is 6.6 seconds, and the aim time is 3 seconds, so that's fantastic news. And it does have a stabilizer for what it's worth, although 5%, you know, not going to do much with that. So yeah, it's no autocannon transport, but it's cheaper than any autocannon transport given the hotfix changes, so it's worth it. Conkers, I bring him at Vet 2, tend not to buy more than 4. It's all about the veterancy these days, guys. Gotta trust me. And then Motshots and BTR, which I bring at Max Vet. Artillery, I bring 2 Akatsias simply because with 1 point I can't buy anything else. So I bring them on 2 cards of Akatsias at double vet. You could bring 4, but I never usually buy more than 1 in a game. And I bring some mortars. I believe the 120mm got nerfed a little bit. But yeah, still very good for smoke and for peppering enemies. Tank tab. So I now bring the 135-point tanks at full vet, and I might change that depending on how it goes, but in my 40-minute game on Vertigo, I did not run out of tanks, so maybe I won't change that. The reason why is that suppression matters a lot more now in tank engagements. Armor's good, but if you don't have the veterancy to back it up, you take a couple shots and you just become useless. You survive, but you can't shoot back. Whereas at max vet, you can shoot back, so I bring the 160-pointer at the highest vet it will go. 2 cards of the 135-pointer, max vet on the 110-pointer. This thing is for standoff. It's not for biting other tanks in tank gun range. It's for the 2,800-meter ATGM, basically, which you don't get anywhere else in the deck. So this is a maneuverable 2,800-meter ATGM, which at a pinch is a tank, but you shouldn't really see it like that. Bring that at max vet as well. The AM2 is just a serviceable T55. Bring it at max vet. And so the AM2 and the T55A are your infantry fire support vehicles. What's the difference? The AM2 gets a little bit more armor, so it can survive things, and it gets smoke, which will save its life, whereas the 55-pointer does not get that. However, you know, if you're driving into a forest, the difference between these two is marginal. So you should just bring the 55-pointer and drive it into the forest with your infantry, not by itself, and then you can do good stuff. And then I bring 2 tank CVs, the T72 tank CV, and I want 2 instead of 1, so that's why I bring it at that veterancy, and then 1 card of the AM2. Recon. Recon helicopter, always bring a recon helicopter. Bring the Aufklärer in the KPV. KPV is good for shooting people. It supports the Aufklärer. It's got its own optics, so you can also use it for recon, so you can drop the Aufklärer off and then move these guys somewhere else. It's really useful. Why don't I bring it at 6 vet? Good question. Can't remember if I've run out of this yet, so I'm just going to do that now and see how that goes. Motorized Aufklärer. So these I use at the start of the game, just for the opener, because the toss-up is between them and these guys, who aren't amazing because of the lower availability. I might try them again. But I usually buy all 6 of these. They're just so useful for it's a tanky frontline recon squad, so it can take a lot of shots before it dies, which means it gives a lot of information. AA, so you now get Iglas in 7th, so I bring those. Veterancy doesn't affect accuracy so much anymore, it's all about the suppression. So, you know, for the sake of 3% accuracy, I'd rather have 9 Iglas. Same with the Shilka and the Cub. Shilka Cub, very strong combo, bring 1 each. put them next to each other and buy a supply with them, and you will one-shot most planes if you get good sightlines. If you're on the reverse slope of a mountain, it's not going to work. Helicopter tab. So why bring this when you can bring this? You get the same availability per card. It comes with one extra veterancy. It's armored. It has better autocannon. I think it's a no-brainer. And then I also bring the 170 for the COCOM. So in my approximation, you should bring any combination of this and this. Any combination you want. Just don't bring any of these. I think they're rubbish. I've seen Lathams use them. I just don't think they're very good. I would rather have this, especially considering I get 2 in a card and I get 2 of these. If I got more of these, maybe it might be worth it, but it's just not. Air tab. So this is one of 7th's primary strengths. You get the MiG-23 ML for that long-range missile. This supplements your AA. It is not your AA, right? This supplements it because it's just not that good, basically, and the price reflects that. Then I bring the AT plane, the cluster plane, the seed plane, and this cheap bomber. Other notable options, you could bring this instead of the cheaper bomber, but I like the cheap bomber and I don't throw it. I don't use it against dense targets. I use it against priority targets, flank targets, infiltration units, stuff like that. Having said that, the boom on this is bigger, I believe. Yeah, it's 500 kilos, so it's bigger, but you're paying more for it. Availability is the same, though. It's slower, but it has more ECM. These are all things to consider. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is Tanner's deck, reviewed for the game that you're about to see. Interesting way of playing 35Y. It's a bit different to how I play it. So we'll dive into this tab by tab. First tab, he brings 5 CVs and 3 cards of supply. The interesting thing about this helicopter, so it's really expensive. If you lose it, you're going to be really sad. You know, if it's on the ground and it gets hit by a howitzer, yeah, you're not going to have a great time. But it has 6,000 supply per helicopter and you get 2 in a card, so that's 12,000 supply per card, which is the highest out of any supply card in the game, by a long way. So for example, oh, these have gone up by 5 points. They used to be 10, I believe. So that's 250 times 12, which is what? 3,000. So that's 3,000 in a card, and that's 12,000 in a card. So he's bringing a huge amount of supply. And we'll see why once we get to the arty tab. So Spetsnaz OP, you should always bring these. They're really powerful. They've got the Special Forces trait, which makes them good, and they're airborne, so they start... Everything's airborne. This is an airborne division. They start further forwards than Recon, and they're really, really good against vehicles. High accuracy, high rate of fire, maximum range for a rocket launcher against vehicles. And yeah, it is a rocket launcher, not a recoilless rifle. Although, you know, technically... I'm just not going to get into it, right? It's not like an M67 recoilless rifle. If you want to begin typing, feel free. He then brings Conkers at maximum vet. So the advantage of the veterancy these days isn't really about the accuracy. You only get 3%. It's about the fact that if somebody hits you with a tank shell while you're shooting, because of the effect of suppression these days, there's a pretty good chance you're going to miss. Just because of the suppression. So these guys on max vet can actually fight the tank. 2 cards of Desantniki Metis in cars. Yeah, they're really good, you know. The Metis is great. Remember 350 meter minimum range on these guys, so not so good in towns, but he's got 2 cards of Desantniki BMD and the BMD2. The Desantniki are shock because they're airborne. All of them are, I think. Well, the Desantniki Conkers isn't. He's not. Yeah, so all Desantniki except Desantniki Conkers are shock. And that makes them even better than they otherwise would be. So they're shock trained, so they take less suppression. And they... Oh, okay, so they inflict more suppression instead of taking less suppression. I didn't know it was that way around. Is that true? Comment boffins, let me know. Anyway, BMD2, my favourite unit. my most favoritist unit in the game because it has 3 MMGs and an autocannon, 2 front armor. Sadly, no smoke. No smoke on this vehicle. They got their smoke in like 2005 or something, so it's really sad. But yeah, this thing at 850 meters and below just absolutely deletes people. And 7th Panzer doesn't get an 850 meter range rocket launcher, so it absolutely deletes 7th Panzer. Desantniki SPG-9, great in buildings, and then he brings it in the robot, which I think is crap. So the robot is, it's got 10 conkers. Okay, fantastic. But it's got bad stealth. The optics don't really matter. It's got bad stealth, and I don't think it gets smoke. Or maybe it does. But yeah, 1 armor, so anything's going to pop it, and everything's going to see it. So you shoot the conkers, and then you die. So but you might say, well, half the price, half the price. Yeah, but these guys, for starters, they take at least 2 hits to kill. More if they're in a building or in a forest. And they get good stealth, so they're actually really hard to spot. Whereas the robot, you see it and then you kill it. So I don't like it at all. SPG-9 trucks, really still kind of annoying. They've gone up in price by 5 points, and more importantly, they've lost a level of stealth. So less egregious than they used to be, but still somewhat disconcerting to deal with. Card of regular Desantniki, so these guys get the better RPG, and they come in cars, and it's just infantry to fatten up your forces. I don't do that. I would instead be bringing Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz are amazing. They keep going up in price, but they are very good still. The RPO, the PKMs, lots of SMGs, high strength, forward deployment, shock and special forces. They're just amazing. And then he's got 6 Desantniki, Saperi, RPO, the RPO. So yeah, if you bet these to max, you only get 4. And then at that point, well, why not just bring Spetsnaz? Having said that, the Spetsnaz is now twice the price. So maybe there is actually a case to be made for these guys. I still like the Spetsnaz. Moving on. So artillery options, the Vasilek's still crap. 120mm mortar, I like it. Vasilek's still crap. The Nona's good, because it's armoured. So let's do some comparison, shall we? So I hope you've had enough time to compare in your brain. So the howitzer, the D30, costs a bit more. It's like 45 points more or something. And it has a slightly higher rate of fire. But you have to move it around. And it comes in a car. So if you load it into the car and the howitzer shell lands, you're dead. So the car just explodes. So I prefer the Nona. But if you've got the micro capability, maybe you can take advantage of the 2 extra rate of fire. Most people can't, but Tanner can. And if you're bringing 3 cards of supply, basically the most supply I've ever seen in a deck, simply because these guys give 6,000 each, then you are capable, and if you're capable of microing, then you can get 8 of these guys shooting everywhere all game. Which you may or may not see in the game. Well, I'll just tell you. Yeah, you do see it in the game. Moving on, tank tab. So T64BV, still really good for its price, and the T64B. The accuracy is quite low, and it doesn't benefit too much from the suppression. You see, he brings it like this, so he gets 7 tanks. But yeah, you need suppression. You need high vet to resist enemy suppression. And he brings 4 of the anti-tank guns. I really like these, actually. They are sort of like SPGs, except they can't go in buildings. So they get more ammo than an SPG, they get more range than an SPG, more damage, more fire rate, more accuracy. What's the disadvantage? Well, the disadvantage is ATGMs kill anti-tank guns in 1 hit. And if the anti-tank gun gets shot in the front, it's classed as a vehicle and it dies. But if you get shot in the side, then it's classed as infantry and it doesn't. It's a really, really weird interaction. I assume they'll fix it at some point. It certainly doesn't seem like intended behaviour. But yeah, having said all that, I still prefer the the 85mm to the SPG-9 just because it fulfills the same role, and you can put it in another tab so you can bring more infantry. But anyway, he brings 4 of these and the SPG-9s. Recon. So, 9 Desant Razvedka in the KPVT truck. So this little car is really good because it brings its own optics, and you get you get paratrooper forward deployment on this guy as opposed to recon forward deployment on this guy. He then brings 3 recon helicopters. So you should always bring a recon helicopter. And I've made my bed and now I have to lie in it. Having said that, Tanner really, really, really likes recon helicopters. As you can see, he brings 12 unarmed ones and 2 armed ones. I prefer just bringing this. It's the exceptional one. It's got high HP, whereas this one's 6 and very good, and dies a bit easier. Mi-24K is good. It's just a great way to bring 2 extra helicopters, basically. You're still going to struggle against planes, but the planes will not reliably one-shot kill you now. Now they need to get some AA missiles off, or send 2 planes, or send a really slow plane, like a Harrier or a Gina in this patch. They will kill this, just because they're so slow that they get time to shoot a lot of rounds. But that gives you more time to react. And then he brings Spetsnaz GRU in the Mi-8 MTV, so this is what I do as well. So Spetsnaz GRU... Well, actually, I bring the Mot Razvedka. So they cost the same. What's different? Motorized Razvedka don't get the SF tag, so maybe they are worse. But they could shoot people who are 850 meters away. And that matters a lot. Their rocket launcher isn't as good. If you see the VSS Vintorez has 95% accuracy, amazing. It has 60 rounds, and you're shooting at 45 rounds per minute. So you're going to run out in just over a minute. What is that, like a minute and a half or something? A minute and a quarter. Yeah, you'll run out in a minute and 15 seconds, I believe. Is that right? I might be wrong, but you get my point. In terms of transport, so yeah, there's a case to be made for both of these depending on what you want. If you really want to blow stuff up, then the RPG-27's better. But if you want to be able to fight enemy infantry, then the Mot Razvedka probably better. Let's talk transports. So Mi-8T rockets are a great thing to bring. It's just free rockets, but then 35Y, I'm going to keep calling them VDV by accident. They're the proto-VDV, basically. They also get access to this bad boy, which is exactly the same, except it has 20% ECM, and it costs exactly the same right now, so why wouldn't you bring it in that? So yeah, it's clear that he brings these just for some extra helicopters, essentially. AA, this is where it starts getting real weird. So he brings 9 of these. Now, in suppression-based gameplay, these are actually not terrible for bulking out an already existing AA net. But then the rest of the AA net is this. And this thing, I really want to like this thing. I keep trying to put it in my decks. It comes in lots of divisions. But, yeah, it's just bloody awful. The 40% accuracy means that you're going to hit... you might only hit 1 out of 4 missiles fired, right? Because of the way it works, sometimes you'll hit 2, but usually you'll hit 1. And it's got bad stealth. It's fast, right? It's fast, which is good, and it has a perfect stabilizer, so you can just drive it around. It's a lot of fun, but it doesn't carry enough missiles, and it has bad stealth and 1 armor, so it just drives forwards, somebody sees it and just pops it, and it doesn't even kill what it's aiming at. So I really like bringing lots of Desant Iglas in the cars. I wouldn't bother with the Scratchet. I really don't think it's very good. I mean, consider the fact that this is the same gun as this. It costs 10 points more. And what are you getting for those 10 points? 1 armor, and it's slower. Wow. So yeah, I bring it in the car. And I really like having lots of Iglas everywhere. But Tanner doesn't do that. And the Afghansky can be really, really useful. So the it's not fantastic, you know. It's not as good as a Barusa or a Shilka, but it is non-radar and it's really cheap, and you know you get loads of them, so you can just spam them out. I really like the Afghansky and the Igloo. But yeah, Tanner goes for these ZSU trucks, ZU trucks, and the Strela, and doesn't bring the AA cooler. However, he does bring two AA Mi-24Vs. So I do that as well. Sorry, that's me receiving a Steam message. And yeah, I really like opening with these. They've gone up in price by 10 points. I think they used to be 125. Cooler AT, this used to be 300 points. It's now 280. It's kind of hard to justify. So yeah, you get the Vicar, and it's really good. It fires really fast, does high pen. For some reason, 26 is seen as bad. You know, like yellow, it should be blue. But yeah, high accuracy, and it's even got a stabilizer. And it shoots them really quite quickly, and the missile's quite fast. So it is good, but 280 points? Whereas, you know, is it really better than this? I mean, it is, but how much better? Is it 110 points better? Would you say in your minds that it is twice as good as the Mi-24V rocket with 4 Cocons? You know what I mean? So I just prefer bringing the Mi-24V rocket with the Cocons, but this has gone up in price as well. It used to be 120. But yeah, Tanner brings a better one. What's the difference? The better one gets worse missiles and 4 more Cocons, and that's it. So it's not better, really, is it? In my opinion. Do you need 4 more Cocons? Last tab, MiG 25 BM seeds. Flies like a brick. It really does. I don't know if they fixed it, but it flies like a brick. But it, you know, it's got good seed missiles, no guns and stuff. But I found recently that if I target guns on something, then the seed missile won't fire. So maybe it's for the best. He upvets it, so you could get 2, but instead he chooses to get 1 for the resistance to suppression. Oh, you've got the stress recovery on there now. So yeah, so it doesn't get suppressed as easily. I don't agree with that, really. I would bring 2. And then he brings 2 cards of this, which I also do. MiG-29, AA2. It's really good. It's a really good plane. Really cost effective. It's just like a better Tornado. And it's way cheaper as well. In my opinion, it's a better Tornado. And then he brings 2 cards of SU-25 AT. This thing's still really good. 30 pen on the missile. The gun's good. The armor's good. Everything good. And here we go. Now we're against P.Uri.Tanner. Better player than I, or at least he used to be. I've not played against him for some time on 2 lakes, and he is 35Y, and I am 7th Panzer. So what's going to happen here? I have the good side, which helps me a lot. If we were on the other side, I reckon he'd rush my town at the start, but as it stands, it's quite hard for him to rush Boris. I think he will try it anyway. But Tanner can be unpredictable, which is good. It's no fun playing against somebody that just does the same thing every single time. So I'm going to deploy relatively conservatively on this side. And I'm going to try and get here. We're going to buy 1 helicopter. And we don't usually do that, but if he does try a rush here, 1 helicopter is just going to kill that entire thing. So we're going to put it here. Well, so the issue is, right, that a plane's going to come and kill it. So where you put it is quite important. We're going to put it here, because if the plane comes, and it will come from this angle, then we can change altitude and we'll be below this building, and then it won't really be able to get a good shot off. Cub Shilka combo to kill the plane. I predict SU-25 rush, although Tanner can be quite a methodical player as well. This is one of his strengths. As I was saying, he doesn't do the same thing every time. So recon helicopter can really help us here because it allows us to try and figure out what the hell's going on. And we are opening double CV, which I've never seen him do, actually. He tends to just have one CV. So his push will be extremely strong, and that's why we're going to be opening quite conservatively. I could have sworn I saved this. I want them all to be in SP2s, but sadly 6 of them aren't. Happens, I suppose. The Conkers can be useful to kill people as they're coming across. Oh, sorry, that was me getting Steam message. I'll just appear offline real quick. Sorry about that, integer. If you're watching this, that is you messaging me, and I just went offline after saying thank you without explaining myself, and that is because I'm in a clutch game, and he's already ready, and I haven't even thought about anything. So, what to do? So we could buy one bomber at the start, which I actually think is a good idea. And we get one more recon, try and put him here. And we're just going to play this as slow as possible. The longer this goes on, the stronger we get in comparison to our opponent. So, Pioneer Flam, Motshots and BTR in a supply. Actually, well, we might as well get it in the SP2. Supply, save 10. So Pioneer Flam's going to go here when they get into the town. Motshots is going to go here. And the supply is for the Cub and the Shilka. Remember, it's Cub Shilka supply. It's not Cub Shilka. It's Cub Shilka supply. You must know that. You must commit that to memory. He does get seed. I don't expect him to buy seed at the start. Right, good luck, have fun. If there's any awkward pauses, it's because I'm drinking this delicious cup of decaf coffee. I quit caffeine on Friday. This is now next Thursday, so the headaches have stopped. I am still making these weird mistakes where I don't deploy my recon. PDV might be better than sex. Interesting. Especially after 10 rounds. So he did buy a CV for this. In the tournament game, I saw him not do that. There he is. I fucking warned you. SPG-9 drugs. Right. And we're routed already. Those gases aren't very good, so I'm quite surprised. Oh, I guess because it's now suppression-based gameplay, they get better. So this guy's actually going to die, which is very sad. Unload, you brigands. You buffoons. Plane. Predicted the plane. This Mi-24's so fucked, man. This guy didn't even make it, so that means there's also an SPG-9 on this road, which is probably going to come for the CV. So we're just going to drive the CV to the corner. I'm going to put this here, so when it disappears, we know that he's there. I'd press smoke, but I just wasn't in time. That AA2 should die, but yeah, so my Cub was obscured by the buildings, and oh, we do get one hit, but sadly the Shilka did not get his hit off, which is actually quite surprising. And now I'm going to buy 2 tanks. And I think we've weathered the storm, as far as storms go. Let's see there, Giza. Another supply with our spare points. Spetsnaz OP, great guys to try and murder. Really interested in killing this man. I'm going to put a Motshots and BTR here. Another one here. The Flam is going to go here. I see that as well. So let's get this guy in a place that he can't be seen. Pull these guys back to this tree line. This is still here, that's good. So, Metis will kill this as soon as it reveals. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. That's kind of why we need the tanks. I'm going to buy another bomber. I'm going to use it on this geezer. So there goes the SPW-70 that I told you about. If only I had... Okay, I have points for a helicopter, fantastic, and then we're going to use these T-72s to clear people out. Problem is we're not here. As soon as he realizes that, we're going to have an issue on our hands. These guys are great for just killing exposed infantry backed up by weak AA or no AA. As you can see. Right, so Desantniki Metis, minimum range, 350 meters. So if he drives into here, we can kill him with the SPW-70s and he can't shoot back. As it stands, everybody takes ages to die now, so he's still alive. We need to reinforce this, but I can't really afford it. So yeah, we need to bait him in. There it is. And you see how oppressive these are when he's just not got good AA? I'm just going to keep doing it. No, that's frustrating. Right, so he is down here. So that is a big problem. Big problem. More infantry. We're not being punished for this. He's not got any proper AA up. Right. We're going to drive these into him. We'll lose one, but the second one will survive. Keep going forwards. Pull this guy back to heal him. Send these guys forwards. This guy's out of ammo. This happens a lot now, given how slow infantry combat is. Did we get that SPG-9? We're losing some rounds on this, so I think we did. We need artillery to kill that supply. And where is my... Right, just put one guy here. Should be enough. Pull these guys back. We're going to lose one, probably. Yeah, reasonable. You know, his AA is just like woefully... you know, these ZSUs, they're not long range. Right, you get Zigglers and stuff, but I don't see them. And we need to get over here so we don't get OP'd. We need to not be within 850 meters of that tree line. Don't want to get OP'd. Heal these guys up. Keep the supply for this. Why aren't you shooting? Can you even hit that? So that T-64 is getting shots for free. It's okay, we'll smoke. And it covers both of our guys. And then we swing across. There he is. We'll probably smoke this, but it's good to try. This is up. Kill that supply. His artillery's out too. Just keep moving. Keep moving, gents. Oh, got hit by that tank there. Got him. Still no sufficient AA. That's a MiG-29 though. That is going to be sufficient. And I should have pulled this guy out, but I was too greedy. Greed equals feed. If you've ever played Dota 2, you'd know. So I'm going to lose that now, and that I didn't have to lose that at all. Oh, okay. I got lucky with the turn. Luck or skill, whatever. I think it was luck, because I didn't plan to do that. Will they get me? I got some serious luck in my bones. Gotta move these guys up. Change altitude on this because he's coming back around for it. We're gonna buy another tank. Right, we should have bought this, but we're 5 points out. We're gonna buy some more of these. Desantniki Metis all day. All day, every day. T-72's max vetted can get some good hits off before they take the suppression, and he never pushed this axis here. Pull this guy back, but I think it's too late for him. Really enjoying the infantry time to kill changes. This guy's probably too exposed, swing him around to here. See, he's trying to get something going up over there. Okay, so we've got smoke on both of them, which is good, because, you know, we're in dire need of it, really. Because if this guy takes 2 hits, he'll be useless. Oh, I got a hull breach. That's so frustrating. I hate hull breach. What is hull breach? Hull breach is when you just die in 1 hit to anything. It's just a crit in the game. I've told them about it. They know about it. I reckon they'll fix it. But for now, just have to cope. Land this guy. Seed. Just switched our dudes off. I need an ASF, because he's going to keep doing this. It's his division, that's what it does. It's very irresponsible of me to continue to, you know... Oh, I haven't even got this guy either. Gonna try and move up over here a little bit. But, you know, we just need to keep reinforcing. Spetsnaz OP on the run. And this push has really not worked out for him at all. Probably because we knew it was coming and we had the good side. Oof, that's actually really painful. T-72 will deal with that though. Come on, fly over me. So, I think he's lost one of his 2 jets, unless he brought 4, which I do. Can't tell when these are empty. That's okay. So he's trying to get him back so he can heal him, and only a fool wouldn't pursue. So I've been a bit slow on my pursuing. But pursuing we are. That's coming for the tank. No, it's not. It's coming for the Acacia, which is moving. Let's shred that SPG-9. I see that. That is a high priority target. I'm gonna dive, I'm gonna throw. That's still the seed? Yeah, well, we don't care about that. Oh, bollocks, we care about that. So we lose both, which, yeah, you know, it's kind of a bit silly of me, really. And this guy went too deep. We hurt him, but didn't kill him. And he's still pushing this axis. And if we don't do something, you know, we're just going to lose slowly over time. So we need to do something. This guy's in need of healing. Ah, redcoats in an open field. So T-55 almost loses to the SPG-9, but we get there in the end. I'm just going to keep moving down here, which he hasn't bothered to press because he's going all in on my right. Tanner is better in the late game as a player than me. His Steel Division expertise gives him some stamina, I suppose you could say. I'm too much of a zoomy boy. What's that shooting at? This. Oh. He's probably dead. Right, so now we're going to start buying those 2,800 meter range dudes and use them to cause pain upon our adversaries. And he's moving up down here, which is the smart thing to do. Get some recon down that forest. So we need to try and, you know, start the counterattack really. Right, well this is just unnecessary. There's no reason for me to be taking those hits. So he's going to die now and he didn't have to. What happens if I... 2625, 265. What does he see? He's going for the castle. This is interesting. Really, you don't want the vehicle first, like ever. First I am. Oh, we don't have any AA here. That died. So he's still pushing this axis. So once you use these guys, you should get them back, because the next thing coming your way is some AA. Right, so you've done your work. You've got a bunch of free kills. No comeback. No comeback from the enemy, right? But then you, yeah. Look, it's not like I didn't warn you. These guys switched off. We'll switch them on. And he's going to kill this, but I'm going to kill him. But yeah, that ground missile gets me because I'm on the ground. So I was too greedy. And I warned you of this, right? I did warn you. So we get a salvo off and then we turn, and you see that he's turning to avoid my AA. Oh. No, he's not doing that. So we might get him. So we got 2 cards of these, so we've only killed 1. What happened to my T-72s? They're still alive, that's good.
Haben Sie neue Zielkoordinaten? Starte Angriff. Zielgebiet melden. Feind im Vorfeld. Bereit machen.
We're gonna get tank CV. Might be a bit preemptive, but see how that goes.
Neue Befehle? Ist es dort wirklich sicher? Was sind Ihre Befehle? Marsch, aber achten Sie auf unsere Flanken.
So we need to clear this out because we've not been in here all game. Ah! What's that going for? Oh, fuck. Man, that happened fast. I wasn't paying attention. I was drinking my coffee. Only myself to blame.
Es gibt nur 2 Arten von Menschen: Artilleristen und Ziele.
So yeah, we're taking it slow and steady. He's an airborne division, right? So late game, I have the advantage, and I'm already 100 points up anyway. So it would technically be a draw, I reckon, but it'll be a draw where I feel better about myself. Which is all that matters. Ow. So, you know, firing your arty from next tier stuff isn't particularly intelligent, right? Because that's going to happen to you. Oh, because it's a base T-72, I can't even shoot back. Ugh, what an unmitigated disaster.
Zulegen. 2 Strich rechts. Feuer! Geben Sie uns einfach einen Befehl. Ausrücken. Von Deckung zu Deckung.
So we've always got to be wary of the fact that at any moment a helicopter and a bunch of planes can come over and just ruin this entire parade. Preemptively turn everything off because I know he's got seed. Fuck! I knew that he had an SPG there and I didn't... My fault, my fault. Where's that helicopter? I lost it. So I've still got 1 left, 5 to 8, 14 seconds.
Ausgabe. Gut, nichts wie los.
There he is. What is that?
Warten auf Luft- und Bodenziele.
Is that going for the helicopter? It is.
Deckung 1 bereit.
So switch all these back on, and we'll get him on his way out. Unless he goes out over the sea, which, oh, he's doing that. Ah, but then the seeds gets my shilker, so that was smart from him. So he's manually turning, which is a pro strat, and he does have the better turning circle than me, and we have to keep turning these off because the seed's coming back around, it's going to mess me up.
Kurs bestätigt. Auf Empfang.
Right, so we're now out of all missiles and there's no reason for us to be around. The issue is that if we evac, we'll fly in a straight line and we'll die. To these people who are still here.
Wir wurden aufgeklärt. Auf
So yeah, we fucked it. Really, really good A play from Tanner. And that fucking seed's still up.
Rundenführer auf Empfang. Ausweichen.
Over here he's starting to push me out again with his artillery. Where's my second
Artillerie
Cassie?
zu Diensten. Ziel zerschlagen.
Finally get that seed.
Erwarte Anweisung.
Is that another AA playing? Can't tell because it's lagging, I can't tell the speed. But yeah, he overstayed his welcome. He had a really, really good... Whoa! Okay, my game lagged a little bit there and then I died, so... So... I'm lagging quite a lot, in fact. I don't know what's causing this. I'm not downloading anything. I have 900 megabytes a second internet, so I'm going to take out a limb here that it ain't me. But Tanner also has very, very, very good internet, so it's hard to know. These guys all switched on or off? So I've got to move this after it flies a bunch of times.
Sie kann langsam ins Gelände. Infanterie bereit.
Right, so we don't have the AA in position here, so it's pointless to attack. It's pointless to attack, so why am I doing it? You may ask. Because I'm an idiot. So we're going to stop. And he's still trying to push me here, so we need to keep reinforcing this.
Nachschub ist nicht alles, aber alles ist ohne Nachschub nichts. Auf Empfang. Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen. Wir wurden aufgeklärt. Hafer, vorwärts, Marsch.
How's that even going? Oh, because Hikatsu was there.
Allzeit bereit, immer bereit.
Surely. No, I'm not in range. I'm just not in range. This division has a big problem against helicopters, basically.
Befehle.
And I will continue to do so.
Der ging fast durch.
Right, and now he's just going to hit this. That was pointless to move that up.
Wir haben keine Munition mehr.
And yeah, the Igla
Feuer.
is out of position. And you know, I just don't have the range, even with the Iglas being added, which is a great boon. Very happy that I have Iglas now.
Zielkoordinaten. Feind gesichtet. Ziel zerschlagen. Punktüberprüfung durchführen.
Oh yeah, he's still here. I never killed it. We've got one bomber left.
Ich habe hier das Kommando. Hier Boris 1. Feind erkannt. Punktüberprüfung durchführen. Kommen. So schnell wir können. Zu Befehl. Sanitäter! Fünfte Kompanie bereit. Hier Boris 1. Feind erkannt.
And I think we lost one of the supplies that we sent, unless
Wir brauchen einen
I'm a
Versorgungsbus.
fool. And he'll have been moving around all this time, right? He won't just stay still. Don't tell me this is another seed.
Feuer.
It looks like it from the way it's acting. Its speed looks like a seed.
Systemüberprüfung abgeschlossen. Einsatzbereit.
So yeah, he's not here anymore, which is what you'd expect, really. It's not a seed.
Feuer einstellen.
It's got a seed behind it. Oh dear.
Wir haben Systemüberprüfung abgeschlossen. Einsatzbereit.
Where is this guy? He's gonna snipe another one of my things. It's gonna be really embarrassing. It's always embarrassing. I'm supposed to be the cheeser. And yeah, he's still working me here. And it's kind of working, so I have that to think about. There he is.
Halte Ausschau nach Ziele. Ah, es hat mich erwischt! Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt! Jederzeit gefechtsbereit!
No, 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 where are you going? Ah, I'm a fool. Ooh, that was close, man. Keeps looking around, looking around.
Alles, was Sie brauchen. Hören Sie klar und deutlich. Panzer einsatzbereit.
So once he takes this, obviously we're in a much rougher position. So I should be trying to stop him, but I'm focusing on this really. T-64B there. What I need is some bloody ammo. Until I get it, I'll continue to suffer these problems. So yeah, he's going to take that. I can't really stop him. Tank's out in position. What's he aiming for now? The tank. Right, so we don't actually have anything that can kill this. Well, if this guy gets into range, he could, but he's not getting into range. Let's use the tank CV. Person in front of him.
Bereit für die Feuermission. Ziel zerschlagen. Wir wurden getroffen. Niemals ausgefallen. Hier Boris 1. Feind erkannt.
Right, so he smokes, which is just fantastic news for us. Angriff! Wir stehen und Seite und kämpfen. I believe that's German. Don't quote me on that. So yeah, sadly Spetsnaz OP are going to kill most of this before it gets close. You can see how he's preemptively artillery. Smart man should. These guys are all going to die. Right, so we're not getting in there. My professional opinion that this is not going to work. As you can see, he's already got all the places pre-sighted for artillery. As in, like, he preemptively artilleried them. So this isn't going to work. So we're just going to take it slower. I mean, there's no reason to go fast. I don't mind drawing. I got nothing to prove. So yeah, everybody's gonna die here.
Das war die letzte Granate. Acker, wirf! Punktüberprüfung durchführen. Kommen! Warten auf Luft- und Bodenziele. Runner 4, warte auf Einsatzbefehl. Hier Boris 1, Feind erkannt. Neuer Befehl.
We're just gonna wait for those shells to land.
Die Artillerie verleiht der hässlichen Klopperei etwas Würde. Es hat Uli erwischt! Ihre Heimzug aufmunition. Rotte bereit.
And we're in. These guys should all be on. But the issue is that, oh fuck, Spetsnaz OP, no, smoke, 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 smoke! I pressed smoke, but I was too slow. And so that was a big waste of time. there's just so much Spetsnaz OP here. So all my BMP ones are dying. Which you'd expect, really. But the ones that survive are going to have a good time. Over here, he's not trying to push me here, but I'm getting a bit nervous. And it looks like he sent his CV somewhere else, right? So he had no CV in this zone. But we need to keep moving, because the D20s are coming. So you guys can't stand it. Where's my AA? I have so much of it, it's just not in position. Yeah, you see the masses of D20s just killing everything in their path. But yeah, we are grooving. Just keep buying them tank CVs. Try and set something up here. Right, so he's now trying some counterattack. But yeah, I've got enough tanks here on this side just to stop that. Come on, please don't have to turn. Oh shit, he has to turn. It's probably not the best use of. So yeah, it's hard to push into this zone when he's got so much artillery and we're not counter-batterying it, which we really should be. But there's just so much to do, you know? Spetsnaz OP there, do you see him? Don't know who I'm talking to. Right. So that went as well as it had to go. Right, if I was against a worse player, I would be like, no, I need to keep pushing. But no, I don't. I'm winning, and now he has to advance into me. So I'm going to sit here like a lemon. And I don't feel bad about that at all.
Der Kommandant begrüßt Sie an Bord. Da brauchen wir uns, Genosse.
Right, so now he's got to push me here if he wants to win the game, or he can push through and push down here, but I don't really see that happen. This is empty. So we've now got quite a bit of fire support here, so we can take this back. We don't have recon with it. Oh, so they were all switched off or switched on. I always forget, right? Yeah, okay, so I've just switched them all off. Move this guy. Right. Right, that's where that went. So he is here. That's my supply. So we'll send the speedy boy up to that, get that back. Oh, so there's more people here. There's actually quite a lot of people. Ah, and then he gets stunned off the start, and what is transpiring here? This is very strange. So he got stunned off the start, and I'm not quite sure why. Let's line this up. Right, so we got him. This guy gets stunned before he can... Okay. It's like playing against myself. Right, so now he's going to try and push me all the way back through here because he knows that this has too much stuff on it. So we're going to reinforce because that's what you do. We're running out of people because we are a tank division. I brought everybody on super high vet.
Gib mir Morphium! Gegen Faschismus und Militarismus.
See that cooler AT over there?
Fliegen zum Zielpunkt. Sanitäter! Feind gesichtet. Haben Sie neue Zielkoordinaten?
Come on, Tanner, let me win. It's been going well so far.
Hier geheim zum Aufmunitionieren.
What? Why did he try and drop his bombs on...
Ihre Befehle, Genosse Hauptmann? Ruhe, herhören!
Yeah, so we need to keep retreating here. He definitely has the advantage right now. And he will keep advancing on this angle because he knows that this is full of 10 million people, so only a
Bereit zum Luftsturm.
buffoon would attack that zone.
Gegen Faschismus und Militarismus. Hält von Freund und Feind nicht viel. Hält nur Flächenziel. Wir wurden getroffen!
Yeah, so we're going to get one of these now, which is good. Might even get two. He sees me, we're only going to get one. T-72 destroyed with artillery.
Genosse Hauptmann!
We see that, he's trying to get in here desperately now. This is his only way back into the game.
Bereit zum Feuer!
That and these wacky desperation plays, which
Zum Schützenrudel
were
aufgehen,
working,
auf meine
so
Höhe.
I rate them.
Am Ende kommt es immer auf den Infanteristen und sein Gewehr an.
As you see the smoke,
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen.
how much ammo do we have?
Bereit für die
We're going
Feuermission.
to counter battery,
Sanitäter!
because he's not moving that. So he's not doing what I thought he was going to do, he's sort of just like attacking everywhere a little bit. I doubt that's going to work out for him.
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen. Jawohl, Genosse! Wir haben Verluste!
Right, so I'd still need to come and get this. It's really frustrating. I'm going to turn all the weapons off this, come and get him.
Wir senden es vor! Punktüberprüfung durch!
Everybody that shoots has to move because we keep getting hit. So he's going to try and drive smoke into. He's going to try and drive CV into the zone with smoke behind. That's how it's done. That's how the pros do it. That's how I do it. Am I pro? Come to your own conclusion watching this game. I don't think I'm. Well, to be honest, I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. I really do hate people who constantly talk about how shit they are. I am better than most players, but it's because I play more than most players. I'm not some sort of genius, dude. I just play the game a lot. So if you could do me a favour and let me win.
Ich höre, Genosse Hauptmann.
There's another one,
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen.
and there's one over there as well.
Rotte bereit. Wir haben was abbekommen. Acker, wirf. Ist es dort wirklich sicher? Warten auf Luft- und Bodenziele. Achtung, Feind im Nahbereich. Oder wir.
Oh, man, he got all the missiles off there. Damn. Oh, it's because they're triple vet. Probably from killing so many of my guys.
Infanterie bereit.
I wish it wasn't lagging so much. I might have to reset my router, maybe that's the issue.
Korridor, Joho. Feind nähert sich Feuerposition der Artillerie. Wir haben keine Munition mehr.
Is he gonna gun run this? There's somebody here now as well.
Bereit zum Luftsturm.
Oh, it's probably that my bloody supply truck.
Rollenbatterie. Sperrbestand aufgebraucht. Brauchen Mundarschub. Angriffsformation. Sammeln. Achtung. Feind im Nahbereich. Halte Ausschau nach Ziele. Sperrbestand aufgebraucht. Brauchen Mundarschub. Stehen unter Beschuss. Unsere Fahrraketen sind abschussbereit. Hubschrauber überprüfen.
Finally getting my supply. 2 minutes left. I think I've won. There's his dude, right? It just depends if those D2... Yeah, I'm gonna stop him. Yeah, so when your enemy does the smoke thing, walk into the smoke. Obviously, it's not always so easy. It's easy to say, it's hard to do it.
Einsatzbefehle, Karte, Kompass. Kann losgehen.
So yeah, GG well played to Tanner. Shame about the lag. I think if he'd had the good sides, he would have had me there with his rush at the start.
Panzer einsatzbereit. Wir haben keine Munition mehr. Der ging fast durch.
In terms of learning from this game, just don't panic, right? Airborne divisions are better early, and just play it slow and steady and see your advantages. Don't unnecessarily overextend. Don't overreact to backline plays. Just keep cool. Send some helicopters. And I really should have used my air a bit better. I mean, he just totally dominated me in the air, which tends to happen when I'm playing against Tanner. So yeah, I only cast games where I win. What more is there to say? There's 19 seconds left. Was a shame about the lag. Starlink here. Right, so he's playing with satellite internet. Definitely on his end. So yeah, good game, well played. Really good game, really close game. So Tanner, you know, his rank is not representative of his skill because he always tries new things, and so yeah, you know, you get people. So we casted the game Strom versus Integer, and Strom's ranked 16th, and he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he only ever plays 2 Panzer. So he's the 16th best player in the world, but if you ban his division in a tournament, then he just sort of, you know, he can't hack it. Whereas someone like Tanner, he doesn't have a division. He plays every division. And so it's, yeah, so you know, maybe I can beat him when I'm on my favorite, but he's got a great tool, a great set of tools. So we see the power of the MiG Bisons at the start before he bought his AA. And, you know, he really didn't have any serviceable AA, right? He had those trucks and that was it. I didn't see any Igloos. I didn't see any Afghanskis. I just saw the trucks and 4 MiG-29s. So once he got them up, yeah, it worked. I lost all my aircraft. But before he did that, I was just dominating him in the air. And yeah, we lost a lot to the SPG-9 rush at the start, which, you know, I should have seen coming, really. And my 24s, look how much they're killing. I just really, really messed up in the air battle. And there you have it. So chronology, SPG-9s at the start. The MiGs start just cutting holes in his rush. He didn't have a smoke mortar with his rush, so he couldn't obscure my tanks and stuff like that. And yeah, I was doing really well at the start, just killing his push. It's all blue, and then slowly, like once he gets these MiG-29s, I just start feeding. My Katsias did great work. Something to note is that the airborne divisions don't have amazing artillery, so you should use that to your advantage. D30s, not D20s, my apologies. D20s are the bigger ones. And yeah, so I drove my tank into smoke, but I did it wrong, right? I wasn't in the smoke, so my tank CP died immediately, which was a misplay from me. Very difficult to micro all these units. And yeah, we did get a counter battery at the end. Could have been a little bit more aggressive with that, particularly when he's pushing, right? He only has so much micro, and that's when you start counter batterying, otherwise he's going to keep moving them around. Yeah, good game. I should have bought a few more tanks and a few less infantry, really, because then I ran out of infantry, but I ran out of infantry at the end, which is what you'd expect to happen, really, in such a high attrition warfare. Everybody's losing lots of points. Good game.